Everybody, so we're back at it again today. I have been gone all week. Actually was in London for work, and now we're gonna have a little garage time, thank God. So I'm gonna do the motor mounts today. At the end of the last video, told you that it was too humid and these things were cold because of the brake clean. I ended up getting them dry that night and primered them, and then the next day painted them black. They've been sitting ever since. So we're gonna get these in today. I'm gonna have to pull the crane in, chain the block, and I should have bought a valley cover for the hoist. It's fine. We'll just use chain again. That's how I got it in. That's how we'll get it back up again. So pull the mounts, put the new ones in, see where things land. The transmission is not bolted in the back on the tail housing, so hopefully, I mean, I have plenty of room there to move forward if it needs to move forward. So anyway, let's get at it and see what happens. Let's get this guy in. Fortunately, I don't have to go, oh, I forgot about that. Shoot. All right, got to jack the truck up first. Dang it. So this truck is so low that the hoist doesn't fit underneath of it. Wow, this truck is so low. You know, before we do anything, let me show you the problem here. Okay, so here you can see the issue, right? So here's the bottom of the front cross member. This is the sway bar. The blue thing hanging down is my oil pan. It's hard to tell, but it's a good 2 inches lower than the cross member, an inch and a half maybe. So we'll fix that. There's the header. Come here. You gotta be kidding me. I feel like a fat kid. Okay, down we go. Man, I need to go to the gym, something. Whew. Should not be that out of breath. Okay, now let's try this again. Look at that. Doesn't get any easier, better. All right, so here's the deal. I'll show you guys all my mistakes. Believe me, I make some. Probably more than I don't. So, you know, like I told you before, I wouldn't say this is new to me, but I think we're all still learning every day. If you're not, then you should find something else to do. I could easily edit this, so it looks like I am a professional. But how does that help you? It doesn't. Okay, so you can see I went to the front of the heads with the bolts and just chained across them. I've already picked it up, I think maybe enough to pull those bolts out, but we'll find out. Might actually be too much. But so now the hoist is supporting it. Should be able to pull them out. We'll mess with up or down and slide the bolts out, and then the clamshells will stay. And then these mounts I'll use in another build. It's close. It moved. It's out. I mean, halfway. Not that one, though. I think now I'm maybe too high up. It's like a fine line of pressure. The tolerance is pretty tight inside the hole for the mount. So if I go too high up with the motor, the bolt hits on the bottom. If I'm too low, it's hitting on the top. So, and of course, it's never equal side to side. The hoist isn't exactly centered, so ouch. Just gotta find that spot for both sides. And now I think I'm way too high. And that's stuck. Yeah, that's not happening. I honestly don't care about these bolts, so if I screw the threads up, it's no big deal. Because if I reuse the mounts, I didn't like these bolts any. They weren't long enough, and they had nylocks on them, and it's not right. I wasn't even hitting the nylon in the nylock. So, there we go. You do have to be careful she doesn't fall down on your hand, but I'm not going to go that far. There we go. One. The threads aren't. Yeah, they are. Ooh, that's hot. The nut does not thread on that at all anymore, so that's trash. Not a big deal. So the question now becomes, can I do it with this one too? Nope. Oh man. This is where another set of hands does come in handy. Ha, get it? All right, let's see where I can get this to now. Right there, the whole thing just shifted. I might be able. Come on. So I'm probably going to have to go back underneath and with a punch drive that through. Let's see if I can get her started. Again, do not care about threads. These bolts are just trash. Wow. How about that? Man alive, why? I'll show you guys what's happening once I get this bolt out, but it's coming out. Unbelievable. That rubber, I should have drilled the rubber out, I guess. Smoke show. Okay, so now I can go up high as I want to get those brackets off. Well, not high as I want, but there should be good. All right, let me show you guys what was going on there. All right, so basically I have the motor picked up now. So I was going through here, right? But the problem was there's rubber inside. They call these things clamshells because they look like clamshells. Anyway, the rubber inside it, this is brand new. I put these on when I put the motor in, and the bolt just doesn't fit through the rubber. It's really tight. I guess the other side was not quite as tight, and I was able to back it back out with the impact. But every time I'd put an impact on here, it would actually go forward because of the force of the impact. So I had to get a drill on it once I got that started back in the rubber, and then back it out with the drill. But you can see these threads are shot, and there's even rubber on the threads. So anyway, that was the problem. Now I'm going to pop these mounts off and put the new ones on. Okay, two things. First, Harbor Freight. These composite ratchets I've talked about, love them. And then these are not Harbor Freight, but I think they sell them. These are Home Depot ratchet wrenches, open end and closed on the ratchet side. I like those too for getting into tight spots. Oh, that wasn't even tight. What the heck? Man, I am slacking. We are going to reuse these bolts. Let me get little trays for them. Okay. And on the bottom, I didn't think the ratchet would fit, but it did. Okay, that's the mount that was on there. So you can see they're adjustable, and I was all the way front. Yeah, cheap Chinese, probably not Chinese, well maybe, but they're from eBay. So they're probably Chinese, but laser cut, and then they just bend the sides of the tabs up for the mount. So that bolts onto the face of the motor. Then this goes in the clamshell, and that bolt went through here. This is going to be replaced by this. So you can see, I hope you can see, front to back I'm going to be almost exactly where I was, so that's good. Because my cross member is already set, and the drive shaft is set, although I think I'm going to do a single piece drive shaft, no big deal. So that'll line up, but then the key here is right here. I'm going to gain that roughly inch and a half that I need to get that the AC compressor to clear, which it already did, but this will be even better. And then the oil pan will come up nice and high. I'm going to measure that real quick and see what the actual difference is. I'll get an inch out of this, so well worth it. There's an arrow pointing to the front. I'm going to go get the directions just to double check them, but the arrow points to the front. These guys will bolt on the same way using the same bolts. Oh, actually it came with new bolts. Maybe I should use the new bolts. And then I'm going to have to run to the hardware store and grab the clamshell bolts to get them through. did come with new bolts. Oh, I thought this was a sticker. Crap. Oh, it did come with a sticker too. This is a business card. Scotty Backus, B-A-C-C-U-S. That's who makes these, S-C-O-T-T-Y, Backus. His phone number is here. Specializing in GM square body LS swaps. The company's called Tejas, T-E-J-A-S, Steelworks. I'm not sponsored by him. Scotty's a great guy. I've messaged him quite a few times with a bunch of different questions. He's like the LS swap guru. He runs a Facebook page. Yeah, so apparently he does EFI conversions, LS swaps, axles narrowed, electrical wiring, CAD design, brackets and tabs, hot rod fabrication for chassis and suspension. So I didn't know he did all that. I just thought he made this square body stuff, but makes sense. You can't really survive just on square bodies, I guess. That would be nice. There are some people, very rare, like the syndicate guys. Let's make sure these fit. They should. Scotty shipped them like butter. I've already chased the threads. So, I mean, I don't really understand, aside from the AC compressor parts of the instructions, I don't understand why you'd need instructions other than face the arrow forward, because these aren't even adjustable. So you slide them in. I mean, the guy even bolts these things, drills these things on an angle. That's impressive. Okay, let's see what happens. What happened? Oh, I'm gonna have to, am I gonna have to trim that? I might. So there's like a ton of rubber sticking out. Oh, nope, nope. Nope, it'll go in. Yeah, buddy. By the way, if you need clamshells, like I had that Olds motor in here, and those mounts are much different than the Chevy or GMC mounts. So if you need clamshells, I think I got these at Advance for like 12 bucks each. Brand new. So you can't go wrong. All right, I got the top two in. This is tough. This truck's so high up right now. I'm really not happy with this paint, by the way. I need to go underneath for that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally not happy with this paint. It's like it's never cured properly. So that sucks, but it is what it is. That is going to be very difficult to get that one in. Really, really difficult. I don't even know how I'm gonna do that. Oh, let's try it. By the way, you guys can't see me, but did any of you catch the Danger Ranger last night on dirt in Bristol? I read this morning, Cletus says they're never doing that again. I don't blame them. Holy crap. I mean, they had a guy flip a Ranger. Well, let me back up. Danger Ranger is Cletus McFarland's Ford Ranger pickup race. He does them all over the country, I guess. And basically gets a bunch of other YouTubers and himself and his team, and they all get together, and you have to have a Ford Ranger pickup. That's pretty much the rule. Two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, didn't matter, but he decided to do this one in Bristol last night on dirt. That was a mistake. It's amazing. He brought in like 2,500 dump truck loads of dirt. Rented the facility, rented the racetrack in Bristol Motor Speedway. And, all right, I got that mount off. Let me come up and we'll talk about it. So he rented the track in Bristol. I can't even imagine how much that costs. There really weren't a lot of people there, so I guess he was selling a lot of pay-per-view. And of course he gets a bunch of content on YouTube about it, so he gets paid, but I can't even see how he break even. Anyway, cover this track in dirt, 2,500 dump trucks full of dirt. Pack this clay dirt down, and it rained, got real wet, but then it dried out pretty good, and it became what everybody thought was slick, but it was surprisingly grippy. In qualifying, they had a truck flip over. Nobody got hurt, thankfully, but then in the first lap, I think they were down 7 or 6 more trucks. It was insane. I mean, trucks were rolling and then other trucks were jumping off of them and flipping and rolling in the first lap. So I honestly, I was tired. Like I said, I just got back from London, so my body's a little out of whack from jet lag, but I stopped watching, but I need to go back and watch the rest of the replay. Unbelievable. He did say we're never doing it again. It was pretty dangerous, but they did it, and I guess he pushes the limits, and that's what happens sometimes, but hopefully pushing limits in the future don't mean anybody gets hurt. That Derek, Vice Grip Garage, Derek Beery, he ran qualifying, but he had to swap out drivers because apparently he burnt the heel of his foot pretty bad. I saw a picture of it. It's gross, but it's healing up. But he realized he wasn't ready for racing. He burned it in the Freedom 500 because of the way the exhaust was dumping onto the floor of the car on the outside. Guess she was getting warm, which is why he was opening the door the whole time he was running. Anyway, let's put this mount on, and I'm going to read the directions after I already installed the first one. 73 to 91 GM's two-wheel drive pickups. Thanks for choosing Tejas. They use a proprietary engine placement that solves problems that others don't. Expressly designed to allow the use of GM truck LS engine accessory package without the need to relocate the AC compressor from the lower side, and to keep the LS truck oil pan safe from road hazards. Additionally, this second-gen design eliminates the need to reuse original... What? Hold on a second. Additionally, this second-generation design eliminates the need to reuse the original clamshell engine brackets without modification to your engine or frame. They are intended to be used with new rubber OE-style clamshell isolators such as the Anchor 2292, used in small block applications as well as factory bolts. Polyurethane mounts may be difficult to work with. Oh, the engine side brackets. Got it. Some installation notes. And in fact, I'll bet you these are the Anchor 2292s. I'll bet you that's what I'm using in here. When using the side mount AC compressor, install the bracket before the passenger side mount. I see why. This is why you need to read the directions. Install the bolt on the top front corner of each mount first. Leave the bolts slightly loose until they are installed. Torque all fasteners to 30 to 35 foot-pounds. Yeah. Hardware, it's ripped. Hardware for attaching mounts to your engine are provided. The fasteners, 10 mil. Use caution when installing the bolts. They sure they are not too long for your casting. They may result in damage to the engine. Well, he even tells you the Anchor 2811, which is the trans tunnel, trans mount. It's the tallest one. He says to use that, so that's super helpful. If installing an 80E or a 90E, no tunnel is modification required. He also makes a trans cross member. I'm not using it. I might, but this is working fine. But I'm not using a 6L80E, I'm in a 4L80E. And he gives that too. Then he goes into detail about all this. Okay, so I need to stop here because I need to clean and install the AC compressor bracket. He says that needs to be done first. So I'm going to stop where I'm at. Find that. It's right there. The bracket for the AC compressor because it's gross and dirty. Clean it, pop that on, and then I'll pop on the mount. I mean, this is going to be real tough on this side because I'm working inside here. So I may do what I was considering doing, and that was popping that bolt in that side and then pivoting the engine up on that because I think I'll get more clearance that way. So let me do some reconfiguring and then we'll come back and get back at it. By the way, if you don't have one of these, again, Harbor Freight, no, not sponsored, whatever. They come with these little trays. I have these little brushes and cups for pulling stuff out. But anyway, if you don't have one, highly recommend it. They're a little expensive, but worth every penny. They really do a great job cleaning stuff up. And they get hot. I cleaned all these bolts up with it just by dropping them in and letting them eat. So I've got the AC compressor in here now. Look, it's already doing its thing. So, not the compressor, the bracket, whatever. So, it gets up to 80 Celsius. You guys can do the math. I forget what that is, like 165 or something Fahrenheit. And then it'll go up to 30 minutes at a time. So, I'll do this side, flip it. I'll probably do that a few times. So, it'll be like an hour and a half or so before that thing's even done. But I'm not going to paint that. It's aluminum, so it's just going to bolt right on the front. And then all the other stuff like the water pump and stuff I have over there is just going to get clear coated and dropped on. So anyway, I'll be back at it as soon as that thing's done getting cleaned, and I'll get her bolted on there. Then we'll get the mount on, drop it back, then we can start bolting parts on. That's literally the only thing holding me up right now is these stupid motor mounts. And then it's kind of all downhill from there. Okie doke. All right, back from lunch, and what else was I doing? Oh, cleaning the AC compressor bracket, which is back installed again. It's down here. I pulled the tensioner pulley off of it just because I don't need it right now, and I'll probably put another one in. Anyway, it's clean. I have one more bolt to tighten down on it. I've already gone ahead and put a temporary bolt in the opposite motor mount that we already installed, and now I've jacked the motor up so I have more room here. Yeah, this one's not going to be fun because I've got the compressor bracket that I just installed, and then I've got also the clamshell, which is already installed, and those actually have nuts on the back, so they're really, really, really not fun to put on and take off, especially with one person. It's really quite difficult. So anyway, hopefully I can squeeze this in here where it's supposed to be. I don't know. We might have to get a bar on there and shift things around, but let's start by wrapping up that compressor bracket. One more bolt to put in there. This side is much tighter because of this AC bracket, but the directions say to do it now, and I imagine because once it's in there, it's probably almost impossible. I haven't even ordered my AC compressor yet, so but Scotty does give you a part number. So I'll get that ordered. But you can install that afterwards, I hope. Yeah, you have to be able to, because what if you got to switch it, right? Okay. All right, now, fun part. He says to install the top two just finger tight, not even tight, just finger them. That's bad. I can't even reach it. You know, I think I'm gonna get in there. I haven't done this in a long time, but one nice thing about square bodies is that you can actually get in here and work on them. Try not to bend any sheet metal, that would be great. And I don't know if even this is gonna give me an advantage, but I think it will. Not too many cars or trucks can you get inside the engine bay. These you can. Okay. Well, that was a success. The first two were in. I'm pretty confident that at least one of the bottom ones are going to have to go in from underneath like I did on the other side. But that's fine. Which is exactly why I lifted the motor up as much as I possibly could. Let's see if I can start it here from the top. With everything loose like it is, you should be able to. It's getting warm. Sorry about the exhaust fan going in the background. Helps a lot. Keep the temperature down in here. Yeah, I'm gonna just have to go to the bottom for this one. Yeah. So we're back to sort of the same problem here that I had on the other side, but actually worse on this side just because of positioning. There's a bolt all the way inside under here that I can't get to. The first three went in fine, top two in this bottom corner, but with this in the way, I can't get that way. So I think the best thing to do is actually take this whole bracket off, which will take the clamshell off and it'll get it out of the way. So there's 4 bolts, 2 here, 2 down the cross member. I'm gonna try one more thing before I do that, because man, it's not fun to take that stuff off. But anyway, I'm gonna just try from up here real quick and see if I can't get it in. If I can't, then yeah, I'm gonna pull those brackets off. There we go. Torqued. Good. Now, when I was out, I should have gotten the appropriate bolts, but I didn't. So now I need to go and get the appropriate bolts. Figures. But that one's in over there. It's not the right bolt, but it's a bolt. So in theory, I should be able to lower the hoist down again, and that thing should settle right into the mount because it's pivoting on the driver's side. See what happens. I can't see it though. It'll come down a little. Unit of measurement, a little. About a little. How's that? A little more. Nope. It's jammed up on the seam. Rubber pieces from that brand new clamshell. That's great. Let's see what I can break here. How much paint I can take off my freshly painted brackets. Maybe that instead. Oh yeah. Well, shoot. I feel like that. I'm just going to lower it down more. That's pretty loose now. Come on. Well, if I get back in there again, I can definitely push it. Yeah, man, alive. What a pain. There it goes. Crushed my rib on the fender. Now it's way too low. That's all right. I can go up easier. Yep. Mm-hmm. I feel good about that. Come down just a smidge. If I can get that one lined up. That's probably too much. That was about a smidge and a quarter. Oh, but there it is. Whoop, there it is. I've got this here for lineup use only tool. I don't have my safety goggles on though. Actually, that's not a joke. Probably should. I think that's exactly where that needs to be. Yep, that's what I gotta do. So, run into town, grab a couple bolts, come back. Story of my life. And, you know, maybe actually get this done today.